construction, and then sort of the wish list items that have been discussed and proposed to you, and things that were proposed to us as well. So with that, as far as the list is concerned, we can just dive right in. Does anyone have any questions or comments right up front? Or no? Okay.
Why are you looking at me for, Mr. Clark?
What's that?
So why are you looking at me? I feel singled out.
No, I wasn't, I promise. So as far as projects under construction are concerned, or under design, that is, we've got the Phase 2 bid package 1 at the high school. If you recall, that's the small addition that we've got to construct to house our new electrical service entrance. That second entrance is needed to backfeed the old service because it's out of date. We're also going to add an emergency generator. We're also expanding the kitchen dock while we're there. The current approved BG1 for that total project cost is $1.979 million. Our construction estimate is 1.75. Certainly the 1.9 takes into account the soft costs, our fees, code submittals, special inspection services, those types of things. We're hoping to have those drawings wrapped up in the next 45 to 60 days with that project out to bid and construction. Would aim to hopefully have that out ready for construction by late October, early November. The second portion, or what we considering as bid package 2 of Phase 2 at Lincoln County High School, deals with renovation of standard classrooms, upgrading your science department, your family consumer sciences department, some cosmetic upgrades to the media center, paving of the entire site, and potentially increasing that scope to include targeted HVAC replacement. We have put together, again, a pretty good list of that project scope. We estimate construction to be about $10 million. Now, certainly that we'll want room to wiggle up or down based on once we get into programming, just as, how far extensive does the HVAC go, that sort of thing.
Can I interrupt for
Yes,
just a
sir.
second? Oh, I'm getting word that our live stream is down. Are you working on it?
I'm recording it. We'll have to upload it later.
Okay, just want to make sure that people were aware.
And based on a $10 million construction estimate, I estimate the BG1 for total construction to be at $11,262,500. Again, once we get programming with your staff, we determine the extent of the science department, extent of the family consumer sciences department. We can fine tune our estimate up or down. Just something to keep in mind, those programs have a lot of equipment, a lot of expensive equipment, fume hoods, specialty plumbing, casework, high dollar items. So again, we need to program those areas with your staff so that way we can fine tune our budget.
And the 11.2 doesn't include the HVAC stuff, correct?
That's correct.
So counter step for a second, Leanne, how does that fit into what we've already budgeted for that? Is the 11.2 still within what we were working with on that originally? Because I feel like that's a bigger number than what we originally agreed to.
I'm not sure what number you're referring to that we had discussed initially.
For bid package 2, that most of this is supposed to be under that $7 million grant, right? Or am I off track?
No, the 7 million is basically
Yeah, that's what, okay, so
The 7 million is, yes, it's all obligated.
I think he's referring maybe to the 5, the most recent one.
well, I don't know, I'm referring to money. Help me understand where we agreed to pay for this at then.
Well, we
We
haven't,
haven't bonded anything yet.
no, we haven't gotten any numbers yet to pursue with, but I mean, the unrestricted funds we have are 5 million, but that's quickly becoming very obligated. So I mean, likely we're looking at a bond issue for this.
Okay.
So Phil, if
So
I
we
can
haven't-
speak
we
up
haven't
here,
Designated any money to it yet.
No.
what this is, the second phase is, Joey and I identified the next major needs in the high school to get it done, because that's what we've talked about throughout, is getting it done. So this is where we see minus the HVAC, basically making the interior look like the common areas is basically what this does, plus the parking. And the reason it's broken into two phases and he didn't come the first time and display it that way is because we need to get that electrical part done ASAP. And that may lead into us doing some other things in the second phase. So right now, this is just saying, this is what we're looking at. It can be navigated one way or another, but it's just a general idea of what this second part would look like.
Okay.
And I think initially we thought, oh, we're getting 5 million, we could put it toward this, but I think we've come upon enough projects that we are not able to bond money for, that aren't on the facility plan, that we're kind of strategically going to use the 5 million for those projects. So while initially we might have said, yeah, we're going to do a lot of work at the high school with that 5 million, what's making more sense is for us to put things that we can't bond money for into that 5 million. So this is probably going to end up being 100% bonded. But there have been no BGs, no bids, nothing
I got you.
yet on this
I
project.
think it's just with all the BGs and the different bid packages. I got a little confused.
There's a lot of them.
I'm sorry, it's a mouthful, yes. So moving on, as far as commitment is concerned, to close out work at the high school, all in is roughly $13 million. That's the bid package 1, and then the bid package 2 that will start once we get the electrical room project under construction. Now, there are certainly some future projects that have been talked about. So we basically need to discuss, a viable strategy in order to address those needs, and get a priority list together that you guys can act on. And from what it appears between what's under construction, future projects from the wish list, all told, it's going to exceed what your current bonding capacity is. So we've got to be strategic on what we do. We've got to make tough decisions, and I'm here to kind of help steer you in the best direction possible for the district.
And you're saying the full bonding capacity that we will have, that what I think it was like 2028, we would have the full 40 million.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. So playgrounds. Basically, you can see there Brad's been able to do some good legwork and has gotten prices back for all of the elementary schools, all 4 of those.
Let me intervene there, Joey.
Sure.
The crab orchard, the 3 we discussed last time that y'all approved, they have been ordered. I did send you guys an update on that. Hopefully October, November timeline. We do have some pricing there for Houstonville. You guys have that on your list. The one thing I'll say about that, the pricing I received is not how I want to see it, because they priced both sides, and I have reached out to them since and asked them to give me the playground on Dave's primary playground, is what I would call it, by the ball court there at Houstonville. I will have that maybe tomorrow. The gentleman's out of town. As soon as I get it, I'll shoot y'all an update on what that looks like. That's the reason you've seen a bigger number there right now, because it's probably basically 2 playgrounds. But we did meet with the principals on the others. They're good to go. Those have been ordered, and actually we got an earlier time slot than I thought we would for install. So we should have those in by winter break, I'm hoping. But I'll get you all an update on the Houston one, maybe tomorrow, as soon as Joe gets back from the gentleman that was doing it for us.
So you can see there the commitment of the district for that investment with the playgrounds at the elementary schools. System upgrades, we've talked about cameras and the intercom system. Again, we've gotten pricing back with help from Brad for each of the facilities that have been discussed. You can see those total investments there as well.
And those numbers there on that's gonna be what Watson just shared with you all. We just included in this master list, and when Joey and I met, to try to get everything, on one sheet of paper, just so you can get your eyes on it. Same thing, I'll go ahead and take the next one too, since you didn't really, the next one's the ricotta. We looked at, Crab Orchard, Houstonville, Waynesburg, as the schools that were lacking the ricotta system that you all were interested in. So you got those numbers available. Then the next is a couple of things I'm going to keep going, Joey.
Go ahead.
Steal your thunder, buddy.
That's all right.
That didn't make it to your list because this has been a juggling act the last few days. But I know you guys have heard me talk about looking at some water issues at the tech center at the high school in the past. We've done a lot of investigative work on that. The roofing company come out. We've infrared the roof. We finally have made a determination that we think it's in the masonry, and similar issue that we experienced at the middle school. And we've got it in pretty good shape. We're still fighting a couple little things there, but it would be the same company. They came out, they looked at the tech center. So I do have an estimate on that, and I do feel like this is a need that needs to jump way up our list, because if you've been in there, you all know what I'm talking about. When you see the wet stains around the auditorium, around that one wall there, that's what this would address. It's really a brick mortar flashing issue, very tedious work, but something I think is going to have to be done if we want to solve this problem. And the cost estimate I got to do that from the same group we've used in the past, $206,450. And very similar, right here at the central office, we have an issue too with the upstairs and the gym. Again, it's a brick and mortar issue as much as anything, but there are some flashing problems, different issues there, and it's going to be pretty extensive here, just to be honest with you all, and it's going to have to be addressed at some point. If any of you all have worked here or been here, you know it's leaked for a long time. And the upstairs is starting to take, over time, it takes a lot of wear and tear. Water would do more damage than just about anything. The quote I've got, same group there, and we're pretty much looking at major work on the front of the old building here, the side and the back. And we're looking somewhere in the neighborhood of that estimate I got, $615,000 to redo all that masonry work. And that's something you have to do all at once. The advice we got from the company is the front's probably the worst. That's probably where we need to start. But basically what the issue is that water's getting in between those bricks and it's just running down. And it's not every rain. That's the other thing. And I think Bill would have said that even with your problem out there. Every time it rains, it doesn't do it. It depends on the way the storm blows in. But the long and short of it is, if we're getting serious and we're talking about every need and things that really need to be done, I would advise you all to look at seriously fixing those two masonry issues. They're not going to get better. They're just going to keep getting worse.
What about the rest of the middle school?
It's in pretty good shape. The reason I was referencing it tonight, we had one area that has given us little problems again, and we actually got a text while we're in here from them, and they're going to come back and look at that. They'll take care of it. But it used to be well, David would remember, you worked there for years. Anybody that worked there for a long time, that gym all the way from the locker room, across the stage area, all that, it leaked really since it was open, didn't it, David? And these people were able to fix it. And Joey's quite familiar with this work too. It's very tedious, and there's no quick way to go about it, and there's not many people would even want to fool with it. It's the problem you run into with this kind of work. But those are a couple of numbers that I did want to get on there, and it's just been chaos trying to gather everything in a short amount of time. But I did want to share those with you all because I feel like those are pretty high needs, honestly. While we have the means to do some things, we need to really consider it. Quite frankly, that's why some of it probably hadn't been done in the past. And the other confusing thing about it is, like I said, you may get a few storms and kind of out of sight, out of mind. But when he comes, you know, like, it's just not good. So definitely things we need to look at doing. I mean, it would be at the top of my list, those type of things right there.
Well, we can't continue to let the facilities deteriorate. I mean, we just, and now, for whatever reason that has happened, and I think, you know, a lot of it was previously not having bonding capacity, or, you know, we talked about there was at one time when we looked like we maybe could, then the economy went down and prevented the district from being able to do so. But if we have the capacity, we have to do all we can do. We just can't keep, we have to prevent.
We have solved quite a few water issues the last couple of years since we've had the means to do so, and Joey's helped. You know, roofing company that's helped, you know, different things. I mean, the high school, we've about, I hate to say it because I'll say this and I'll get a call on leak here and we'll have a leak somewhere, but from where it was, it's in really good shape now. The tech center is the pressing issue there. And then, of course, anybody, I mean, Christine's the Green Chief been here. This part's been bad for years. I mean, there's just, I think we have finally figured it out, and it's just not the solution we want to hear, but I think it's going to have to be looked at getting done sooner than later.
Okay. Ready?
I'll throw the ball back to
All
you.
right, thank you. Now, as we move on, like I said, Brad talked about those, what I would consider maintenance type projects. At the last meeting, it was suggested maybe investigate the potential for a new bus garage. So I put some information together for you regarding the bus garage. You do have one on the this facility. That is a good thing. Typically, most bus garages these days are what we call a pre-engineered metal building structure. There's certainly some pros, some cons about that. You can order them, get them here quickly, but they're not cheap. You know, the system itself isn't cheap, but it is a more cost-effective solution than doing a traditional load-bearing masonry structure. So, like I said, there are some advantages to that. We would estimate potentially using a 4-bay bus garage for your district. It was also asked about the potential for a wash bay. So you could do 3 service bays and then the wash bay. Again, bus garages today, they're fairly complex. There's a lot of equipment, a lot of utilities in them. Typically you'll have certainly lifts. We've actually done recessed pits so workers can work on their feet overhead. You'll have fuel filling stations, break rooms, meeting training rooms, certainly restroom facilities and storage equipment rooms. We would estimate construction costs to be between $3 and $4 million. That would put you at an estimated BG cost of about $4.6 million. And I want to be clear because I didn't say it earlier and I apologize. Our estimated BG1 costs, I do have it written down. It does not include finance costs for the bond sale. I can't predict those. Certainly the larger the bond sale, the more it costs. So just keep that in the back of your head as you're trying to keep track of these numbers. In addition to the bus garage, there's also been some discussion about a maintenance building that could be incorporated with the bus garage. It could be a separate structure in and of itself. It's not on the facility plan, doesn't mean you can't do it, but I don't have any sort of programming information on that, so I don't have any cost numbers for it. But typically, again, really depends on how big you need. It could be an $800,000 structure, it could be a $2 million structure. It really just depends on what you're looking for from a needs standpoint. And then one of the final sort of future or planned construction projects is the proposed new elementary school. Just a quick update. We've finally gotten all of our ducks in a row from Frankfurt as it relates to all the letters and approvals, that sort of thing. So there shouldn't be any other hurdles really in your way as it relates to the property purchase process. But with that being said, it's up to you guys to determine, how we're going to proceed moving forward with this proposed new elementary school. There are 2 included on the facility plan, but it looks like we're probably going to be doing 1 elementary school based on funding and that sort of thing. Right now, you've got 450 to 500 students will be the capacity of this new facility. And so I've put a couple of numbers together for you guys to look at based on 450 students. I got a typo there. And then 500 students. I apologize. I got a typo in the capacity there. Now, these figures are based on KDE minimums, the minimum model program space requirements. If the district elects, they can increase that 53,000 square foot minimum by 20%. If you want a larger gym. Good example would be, number one, these regulations date back really far. So a lot of them are really out of date. Your administration suites now incorporate more guidance counselors, SRO, those types of offices and facilities that are not accounted for in these square footages. So that's one area where you may increase and do a larger administration suite than what the minimum program requirements state. But that being said, I would estimate roughly $450 a square foot. So you're looking at about $23,800 for construction. I think that's a fair estimate for a 53,000 square foot facility. I will just tell you, we've got a project that will hit the streets probably in about 2 or 3 weeks. It's a community college building down in London. When it bids, that'll be able to give us some really good current data as it relates to price per square foot. We're estimating about $475 a square foot for that facility. But again, it's a community college building on a terrible site. So we've got an expensive foundation system, and it's a very heavy program towards industrial type programs. It's got a welding shop, it's got an auto and a diesel mechanics shop, carpentry, HVAC, electrical. Very, very, very heavy with electrical and HVAC utilities. We're also pursuing LEED certification, which again can jack the price up. So I would estimate a BG1 cost at about $26.6 million.
Plus fees, plus the.
No, I'm sorry, plus your financing charges. But the 26.6 would include our fees, submittal fees to Frankfurt for housing building construction. That would include your special inspection fees, survey, geotech, all of those soft costs, and your contingency, your construction contingencies also accounted for in these BG1 estimates that I'm providing you. KDE requires a 5% construction contingency. Moving on down, if we increase to the 500 student school, you can see construction costs would increase to about $25,500. Total construction about $28,400.
And that's based on the minimum. So if we did do the 20% increase, you're talking an additional 4.8, roughly $6.8 million, depending on which building size we go
It could
with.
be $2 to $4 million. Yes, depends on number one, how much you grow, what it is that you do grow. Bigger gym costs more money than expanding your administration office. Tall structure costs
Right.
more.
Do you know a typical, just based on your all's projects, when you build schools, typically by what percentage they tend to go over the estimated cost?
98.7.
Yeah.
Well, I mean percentage of the amount, not the amount of times it does go over. But they usually go over 5%. They usually go over 10%.
10. We've had some that have
So I have,
quite frankly bombed, and you just don't understand, you can't make the math work. You'll have some that come right in. You'll have some that come up, come under. I had one in 24 our estimate was $28 million. It bid with all alternates 22. And I can't make that math work to this day. I can't.
What was the final cost after all the change orders and everything else?
It's under construction. It's under construction. We're about 11 months into construction. We had a bad site, bad soil, pocket of bad soils under parking lot. Had about a $330,000 change order for that. Outside of that, we've had maybe $50,000, $60,000 in what I would consider errors, omissions, or changes from the owner. So I'm bragging here. Had a pretty good set of drawings. My sub-consultants had a pretty good set of drawings, and I got a good contractor.
He's giving you an example of a BG.
Yes, I've included the BG one just from a transparency standpoint, so you can kind of see what our fee would look like, what your construction contingency would look like, what your finance costs would look like on a $30+ million bond sale. And you can also see geotech survey, commissioning, agency fees, all of those things add up to get you that sort of BG1 bottom line cost. Does anyone have any questions?
I just, if I'm looking at this right, as I went through here, just rough estimates with one elementary school, that would put us in roughly $50-something million worth of needed improvements is what we're looking at. About
I had a
more, 10
question.
million more than the cap bond.
Yes.
I had a question
Yes,
about
ma'am.
the going back to the bus garage. We had discussed, I think, kind of briefly, an awning over the fuel pumps.
Mhm.
You didn't.
Well, that's kind of getting in the details, but that we can certainly do that if we got into this project. Yes, absolutely. When we've done them in the past, we typically do an awning.
But that needs to be done with the bus garage. That can't be done without doing the rest of this on the bus garage.
I think it depends on how we do it, because if I'm reading correctly, your estimate with this new bus garage, if we did it, would include a filling station, whereas the awning is for the current filling station. So it'd be the awning for the
Oh, I'm
current.
sorry. I may be confused here. Are you asking
An awning for the
awning
current.
for the existing?
Mhm.
Oh, maybe $80,000, depending on how big that you want. It would probably be done as an aluminum canopy, kind of like what you see hanging on. They're proud of their product. I'll just leave it at that. Cost per square foot is pretty high for what you're getting, but it's a pre-engineered system. I would suspect we do a column post-mounted, post-supported canopy over your filling stations you've got now. It would just simply come down to a matter of how long, how deep do you want, how much do you want, how much cover do you want. That would drive the cost.
But if we build a new one, will we have a new filling station? Or will we leave this filling station in place?
That's really for you to determine. Are
How do
we
you
putting
have-
this on the same site or a new site?
How do you have it written?
How do I-
Because the
what-
BG1.
Oh, the bus garage?
Yeah, you've got 4.57 and it mentions fuel filling stations. So would that include the installation of a new filling station? Is that,
Can,
I mean, I
yes.
guess $80,000 really isn't a lot of money when you're talking 5 million. but-
Correct. Correct.
Okay, I got you. You're in the-
Yeah, and again, this is speculative at this point. I need to sit down with your transportation director, your staff, and get a fine-tuned program of what you want. Yeah, could the bus garage be $3.5 million? Sure. Could be $5 million too.
Right. Take that ball with the microphone and toss it to Leanne and start turning. So
Mhm.
you wanted to talk about money now
Yeah,
with the cameras and the PA specifically, because that's what we brought up
I wonder
before.
if Mr. Krager, do you have anything to add about the bus garage or
I mean, I know all this is preliminary.
Mhm.
My thoughts are the things that you covered first are definitely the priority where the kids are. I mean, obviously, we want the best facilities we can for everybody here, staff, and yeah, I'd like a new bus garage, but that's not the top priority. If I were going to build one, it wouldn't be on that campus. I mean, because that's a problem. I mean, there's a lot of traffic on that campus. When that was built, there wasn't a middle school, there wasn't McGuffey, that wasn't there.
Right.
So if you're going to go to the trouble of building one, it needs to be somewhere else. With another access. I'd love to have the farm across the road and put it over there. But our biggest issue right now, if you're looking for something to address, is parking at the bus garage. I mean, that would be something that if we were only spending a small amount of money on the garage, that's what I would like to see addressed if we weren't going big. That kind of helped.
Sure.
Yeah. And there's money going to be put in there. Brad and I talked about a lot of things, but you're going to have a roof on it at some point. Garage doors need replaced. We've got a center lift that needs put in place because we got 2 lifts. One's a portable, third one in the middle needs replaced. Doesn't work. So there's things that can be done with the one we have, but it doesn't solve the problem of its location. So
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's fine. I thought we were done with that, so. Okay, Leanne.
Well, I mean, a lot of it comes down to, we kind of need to identify which projects are a go and which aren't. And then we need to segregate between what do we need to use our 5 million for and what can we bond. And then it kind of becomes a question of our 5 million is not enough to cover everything that we cannot bond. So, I mean, at this time, so our 5 million comes in 2 allotments. So we received 1 allotment of 2.5 million and we'll receive the second next July. And just with playgrounds alone, we've spent a little over $1 million of that. So at this time, I have maybe $1.5 million of unrestricted funds. So, I mean, are we doing a playground at Houstonville? Because that's going to eat up a big chunk of that. Are we doing cameras? Are you wanting to do cameras at Houstonville? The tech center roof? Like that 5 million is going to start going quick. So when you say, 1.5 million on the system that was displayed, if you want to use, that's not in the facility plan, that I don't think I mean, that has to come out of the 5 million. What we need to look at is that 5 million first and kind of determine what you're going to use it for, because we don't have enough money to do everything that needs to come out of unrestricted funds. I mean, I think from my perspective, the biggest question is what's the board's stance on the property for a new elementary school? Like, that's a big expense. So do we think we're looking at building a new elementary school? Because if we are, then that's a huge placeholder on all of our bonding money. So I don't necessarily want us to be like, yes, let's start picking up a bunch of little projects that add up to too much that we can't. Then you decide to build a school. We don't have enough to do that. So I guess the ball's kind of in, I guess we got this theme of the ball. The ball's in your all's court to kind of determine, what path are we following, and then kind of going from there. But we can kind of look at the 5 million and determine with that what we want to do with it. But like if we're looking at, we need a little over 1.5 million in unrestricted funds, we won't have that available until next July when we get that second allotment of money from the state. So that's kind of where we're at. So
So you're saying just the purchase of that property alone is holding off some of this?
No. Well, it kind of determines how much of our bonding we want to use on these other projects. But what I'm saying is of the 5 million, like I don't have 1.5 million. I can't bond 1.5 million for the Epic PA system because it's not on facility plan.
Okay.
I also don't have 1.5 million in unrestricted funds right now. I barely do, because I'm getting 2.5 million again next year. So we've already obligated our first 2.5 on playgrounds. Like I don't have that cash in hand right now. We will next July have 2.5 more, but it's just kind of a timing issue when you look at that. So those are things I kind of need your all's input from. Like, Are you gonna put a playground at Houstonville? Are you looking at putting cameras at Houstonville? Are you looking at the PA system in Houstonville? Like, in my mind, that one issue kind of drives everything because it's gonna impact our unrestricted funds and how we're gonna look at using our bonding money.
So if I'm correct,
Mhm.
basically, if we built it, the only thing we could probably do on this list that has to be done would be finish phase 2 of the remodel of the high school for the roughly $12 million.
Yes.
So if you were looking at 30 million-ish on a
Right.
new elementary school, our capacity right now is 36 million. And in July 28, it will be at like 47.5 million.
More than I thought.
But of course, that's 2 years away.
So the
So-
question is do we build a new elementary school and give up on the rest of the projects? Or do we do something for all of the other buildings and pause the elementary school for a couple of years?
Right, that's my question, because you all are gonna say, can we do X, Y, Z? Yes, we can, but it's gonna significantly impact if you want to build an elementary school, whether we're gonna be able to do that or not.
I think we need to maintain what we have first and make it all to where it's, able to be used properly and it functions correctly before building something new and have everything else fall down.
It almost feels like we don't have a choice anyway, because with the $13 million that Mr. Clark said is basically what it's going to take to complete the high school, there's not enough left over there to start on the elementary school as it is. So we kind of already made the decision based on approving or going through the process of completing the high school, which a lot of that is in process because you're working on the drawings. We already said that we have to have the electrical infrastructure upgraded at the high school. So that $13 million, even though we haven't approved it or allocated it yet, we pretty much agreed to do it.
But can we still purchase the land since we've gone this far in it? And hold on, I mean, are we gonna be financially able to go ahead and purchase that land?
Well, we'd be bonding money to purchase the land, so I mean, it's gonna impact your capacity, but not the general fund in any way.
So that puts us to 14 million. But I think purchasing the land is a good idea. Tyler, you and I talked about this. Even if we can't use it in the next 3 years, it's good land. We're going to need it eventually. It's going to happen.
I would say this, and I'm a Houstonville boy, I'm lifelong right there. So go to church right there on Main Street. I want a new school, I also want a new school for other students in the district. For all our students. I think the decision essentially is made, but I don't think we're going to be able to do it as quickly as we want, but I think we should buy the land. And if we are going to think this is going to take a little bit longer than we think, I still think we need to spend money on Houstonville and make sure we have playgrounds and we have security cameras and we
I
have those
agree.
things that are there, because if it does take longer than we need, we're going to be in a situation which we've been in before with elementary schools in this county where they don't have the facility,
Upgrade.
they don't have the upgrades, but it deteriorates to a point where it's almost not usable, but we're still having to use it because we can't build the new school. I don't want that to be the situation. So even if we're hopeful that it's going to happen years down the road, I still think the students at Houstonville matter now, the staff at Houstonville matters now. We need to invest in what we have.
Yeah, because, it takes 2 to 3 years to build a school after you press the go button anyway, right? So, from the drawings to
It depends, but certainly we could take anywhere from 6 to 9 months for producing the drawings, bid, construction. I'd say 18 months.
And I think it's important too for the public and for us to all understand that when the process around nickel tax has changed, it just changed our reality. We thought we were trucking on to easily being able to do multiple new facilities, and it's just changed to a point now where coming up with new revenues is going to be much more difficult than it historically has been. And it's just, that's not something we wanted, but it's the reality we're dealing with. And so things may not happen as quickly as we'd like, but we still have to invest in our people and our facilities that we have right now. And on that topic, I mean, is there anything not included here that our schools, Stanford and Waynesburg, are going to need from taking on new students? Is there anything we've missed there that needs to be in here as well?
We have already, sure Brad's not ready to speak up to the same point. Waynesburg we have put quite a bit of work there with paving and working on their drop-off loop. We've replaced several rooms, the floors at Waynesburg. I don't know if that's what you're getting ready to say.
Yeah, and we need to continue to do that.
Sure.
Honestly, I mean, that's something every summer we need to chip away at. It doesn't have to all be done once, but we need to have and we do. But yes, you're right, Tyler. You got to think about that. I think what might be a good idea from what I'm hearing is, because of the juggling, and I don't want to speak for Lynn, but some of the way you have to finance some of these things are going to be unrestricted money. Some of it needs to be bonded. Probably take a few days to evaluate. Here's everything that's kind of how can we plug this and make this puzzle work? It's kind of what I'm hearing.
So to help me, it sounds like look at a playground at Houstonville. If you are interested in the cameras at Houstonville and all the other schools that need it.
Mr. Watson, can I ask, let's say we install your Epic PA system into Houstonville, and then 3 years from now, 5 years, whatever it is, we decide now we're closing Houstonville, we're going to build a new school. Do you guys move that forward, or do we have to rebuy for the new school, and all of that is pretty much a loss?
We could move it. There would just probably be added installation costs. But the good thing about our system is once you purchase it, it's yours. There's no reoccurring cost, but the only cost I could imagine would be moving the equipment, taking the equipment down, and then installing it at the new building.
So,
Well, we would have to add equipment. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We would have to add more equipment because we're going to go bigger school.
Much larger.
But you could reuse equipment.
Well,
but what I'm saying is I don't want to lose $125,000 worth of equipment.
Right.
And stuff at Houstonville if we can salvage that.
And something else I was thinking, if it helped Lee in terms of how she's getting the next allotment of the 2.5, we might be able to get with Watson and say, let's go ahead and start one of the schools now.
That was going to be my question. Would that change pricing at all if we said, well, let's just say I picked 2 schools off the list, that pricing would remain the same?
100%.
Now, I know if we're looking a year down the road to do the rest of the schools, that might show an increase.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. There's always the possibility of price increases just with, pretty much anything in today's world.
You do a payment program?
I'm just
We would like to rent to own.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know a guy. But yes, you don't have to do the entire
Because what I'm hearing is that the board's very interested, but what I'm saying is I don't have enough free cash right this year that I can use on that won't hurt my general fund.
And I wouldn't want you all to put yourselves
Sure.
in a bind financially just to
Right.
get everything done. So what I'll promise to you is the pricing you saw per school, I'll stick to that for the schools that you want to do.
Okay.
Obviously,
If we go that route.
Yeah, if you go that route.
What I'm saying is I don't have enough money, which someone's going to hear this and take this the wrong way. I don't have enough of the unrestricted funds that we've been given to use on $1.5 million of his project right now. If I can piecemeal it together and say, hey, middle school in Stanford this year, and then when we hit July 1 next year, we're going to get $2.5 million more, then we can take the rest. We might have to do something like that. So I'm not necessarily saying like, we can't do that. I'm just saying, we can't do it right now, or we can't do it all at once right now. So I can kind of piece those things together. But like when we're looking at priority, like does the tech center roof, Brad, need to be done now?
Yeah. As soon as possible.
What about the central office?
At least start the process on it, yeah. I think so. I mean,
So
that's,
it kind of.
That's gonna start.
$900,000 right there.
Yeah, so
So
I'll
we can bond for that.
and here, yes, the
Is it on?
central office.
central office is on
And tech centers.
There's a roofing.
No.
No,
the central office.
We can
Right.
reconvene. We're gonna have to reconvene anyway because we need to make other changes, so.
Also, and I'm not gonna drag it out, but I'm talking to Watson about maybe some other options on how to get the sequencing and started on doing this. So,
If I can offer a little bit of a suggestion on Houstonville. If you're going to invest with these systems at Houstonville with the likelihood of replacing it in 2 years, I would strongly urge you to consider using Houstonville as replacement parts for your other facilities in lieu of taking it out and installing it.
Well, he said we don't really need it because if the system breaks, they replace it. They don't really need replacement parts. Maybe a ball or two,
Well,
but.
from a
Right.
logistical standpoint, to
trying to,
take it from one facility into a new
Maybe because of the cost of the.
will be challenging.
Legislation might be.
I thought about the
more
playground
expensive than
equipment
it
too. Will it not cost almost as much to just get the playground equipment taken up at Houstonville and took to the new
Now,
site?
playground equipment, I'm not sure what you're buying, but I believe that equipment could be relocated. I rely on
you could,
your supplier to confirm that, but we could certainly, 2 years down the road.
I just would recommend not doing port in place, obviously, you know.
Can you get us a plan for next week's meeting? And
Yeah.
We'll just read.
And I'm already having a conversation with him about that Epic too. We'll have more information to you.
okay, and so I'm hearing, not asking you to make a motion or anything, but we're probably interested at this time of pursuing the purchase of land on the west side of the county.
Yes.
Okay,
How far along are we in the process?
As he referenced there earlier, we have received a file from the Transportation Department that's been the holdup. So right now it's in KDE's hands to review and give us the go-ahead.
Once they give us the go-ahead, it's just basically bonding and signing papers. Is that correct?
Give it everything, title and everything.
Well, yeah, but
next, Thursday, but I'll try to send to you before. I'll try to come up with a time and game plan working in conjunction with Brad, for like what we can do and when.
Am I correct that there's enough property there that we're planning on purchasing that if we wanted to do a bus garage there, there's enough room to put a bus garage, or would that not
You wouldn't want
logistically
it all
make sense?
there. of course, Mr.
And we don't have another just centrally located spot that I think that we can think of to put a bus garage.
Well,
Your bus has to be inspected once a month, so Waynesburg drivers are gonna drive from Waynesburg to Houstonville.
Well, I think
Sure.
Brad said that the bus garages are really nice to have, and I think Mr. Krager agreed, but it's not a need.
Okay.
I think we have some student needs that need to be addressed.
Well, I mean, sure, it helps me along on
Yeah.
school. you know. Absolutely.
Okay,
Any other questions?
I think we're pretty thorough on that.
Okay,
thank you, Joy.
sure, and I'll
Okay, I think you're,
stay tuned for the
are
next
you
one.
good, Ben?
I will
Okay.
take care of Ben's
Four.
obligations.
4C change order number 8 for Lincoln County High School renovations bid package 2.
Yes, we've got the pricing on that. Basically, that was some additional site work to deal with some drainage issues that come up during construction. Brad,
Yeah,
we got the pricing. It came in at or below our not to exceed amount. So,
it's what we previously talked about, yes.
Any questions? 4D, pay application number 10 with DPOs for Lincoln County High School renovations bid package 1.
and we reviewed that And we're in agreement with the amount of money that's being requested by the contractor for this month.
Okay. Any questions? 4E, data security and breach notification best practice guide.
That's the standard, information we have to, include every year at this time. Nothing's changed since last year. If you got any questions between now and next week, just give me a holler.
4F, bidder options for transportation. Jeff?
Important question.
Oh, there you We have worked with Leanne to include two other vendors who want to sell us fuel, basically Premier Oil and Laser Oil Company. And because they bid every single load, they're not actually giving us a bid price. It's not like they can guarantee what fuel's going to cost from month to month. So it's a per load bid. We said there wasn't any reason we could add those vendors once they reached out to us.
Yeah, we typically approve this once a year and vendors fill out applications. And like he said, they don't actually submit pricing. They just want to get their name on the list. So that's why I don't really think it's problematic to accept two more, just because they want to be able to do that.
Give us
They
more
might be
options.
cheaper.
It's a good
Yeah,
thing.
it just gives us more options.
Yeah.
Is it, I looked at the bids and there was a question on there that says, if we request a fuel tank, how many trips will you make to us? One of your bidders put on there that they would do two, and the other one left it blank. Is that gonna be a problem?
We really don't anymore. That's really part of the old, there's the potential. We still have a tank at Waynesburg. We still have a tank at Crab Orchard. We've not filled it since I've been in this role. But they're there, and so that's why that's there,
Okay.
to see if they needed to make two stops. But we don't run shuttles anymore to where you have elementary only routes. That's what the purpose of those, to where the ones that say Crab Orchard only ran in the Crab Orchard area, they wouldn't have to drive all the way to Sanford to fuel up. They could do it right there.
Okay.
But being that all converge upon the Midland High School, they have the opportunity to fuel up while they're on that campus.
Any other questions? 4G, Frisky AmeriCorps agreement, David?
So we've done this for the last 4 years, just the agreement with Risk AmeriCorps, going from 2 staff members to 1. So I think our cost is $8,000 paid for with the ESS fund. So just an agreement to do that same thing we've been doing with that 1 staff member.
Any questions? 4H, MOA with Midway University, Jeannie?
This is just a MOA so that we can allow student teachers in our district from Midway University.
Okay. Any questions? 4I, 2026 procedure updates, Bruce?
You had your second reading on the procedures earlier on the agenda, or the policies, and these are the procedures that go along with some of the policy changes.
Any questions?
No public comment.
No public comments? I have a letter today that I would like to read. August the 6th, 2026. Dear staff, students, families, community, and board. After many months of thoughtful reflection, I've made the difficult decision to retire as superintendent of Lincoln County Schools, effective January 1st, 2027. This decision has not been easy because serving this district has been far more than a job. It's been a calling and one of the greatest privileges of my life. As I look back on my years here, I'm filled with gratitude for the opportunity to serve such an extraordinary community. Every day I've been inspired by our students whose resilience and curiosity and potential remind us why our work matters. I've been equally inspired by our dedicated teachers, administrators, support staff, and employees who consistently go above and beyond to ensure that every child has the opportunity to succeed. Your commitment, compassion, and professionalism has been the foundation of everything we've accomplished together. I want to extend my appreciation to the boards for their confidence, guidance, and support throughout my tenure. While we did not always face easy decisions, there was a common purpose to do what was best for our students and our schools. I'm grateful for the trust placed in me to lead this district. To our parents, families, business partners, civic leaders, and community members, thank you for believing in our schools and investing in the success of our children. A strong school district is built through partnerships, and I've been blessed to serve a community that understands the importance of public education and works alongside us to make a difference. Together, we have celebrated milestones, overcome obstacles, and embraced opportunities for growth. We have worked to strengthen academic achievement, foster safe and welcoming schools, and create opportunities that prepare our students for bright futures. While there is always more work to be done, I leave knowing that this district is well positioned for continued success because of the remarkable people who serve it every day. Although I'm retiring from my role, I will always remain one of this district's strongest supporters. The friendships I have formed, the lives I've been fortunate enough to touch, and the memories we've created together will forever hold a special place in my heart. Over the coming months, I'm committed to working closely with the board and district leadership to ensure a smooth and successful transition. My goal is to provide every support possible so that the next superintendent can begin with confidence and our students, staff, and families experience continuity and stability. As I close this chapter, my heart is full of gratitude. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your lives and for trusting me with the responsibility of leading this exceptional school district. It has been an honor that I will cherish for the rest of my life. I leave with hope, confidence, and excitement for the future. I know the best days for this district are still ahead because of the incredible people who make this community so special. Thank you for the memories, the friendships, the challenges that helped us grow, and the privilege of serving alongside you. With sincere gratitude and warmest wishes, Bruce Smith, Superintendent of Lincoln County Public Schools. Do I hear a motion? We'll add this. Do I hear a motion to accept the resignation? Jen, second.
I'll second.
Philip, vote. Gloria,
Yes.
Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote no. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Jen, second.
I'll say.
Tyler, vote. Gloria,
Abstain.
Tyler,
Phil.
Philip,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
and I vote yes.